Welcome to episode 6 of Barbells and Barstools. My name is Patrick Thompson, here with
Dr. Sam.
Alex Temple.
Eric Munoz.
what has happened currently right now, you guys, in the outside world?
Steph Curry, 400 threes in a season.
We got Kobe Bryant with a memorable send-off last night.
How do you feel about that, Eric?
That was awesome. I mean, I've been a Lakers fan since I've been like 8 or 9 years old, and I've seen a lot of great Kobe moments, and that I was not expecting that. The fact that I understand he took 50 shots, but I don't think I could put up 50 shots in 48 minutes for one.
Shot 45%.
Yeah, shot damn near 45%. But that definitely ranked up there in one of my top. Being a lifelong Kobe fan, it's definitely up there towards the top, right there with the 2010 championship over the Celtics, I think. So that was awesome to watch.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think it was a little past my bedtime, and I was asleep by then. So,
Of course.
It was pretty late.
Yeah, West Coast.
But so Kobe, Steph Curry, and the Golden State Warriors. Sean Livingston's on there from Peoria. I mean, that's pretty dope in my opinion. I saw on ESPN Radio Peoria that he was on there.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Did you listen at all?
He had a pretty good interview with Jim Matson there on the 96.5 ESPN Radio. Kind of just talking about the grind of the season and stuff, and how much fun he's having playing, and compared it to back to playing when he was at Peoria High back in the the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of compared it to he's having about as much fun now as he was back then. So yeah, it was a good interview.
What do you guys think he'd be doing if he never got hurt?
He would have been a league MVP, probably.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
He's a freak.
He's 6'9", point guard.
I don't even remember. I mean, I remember him. What was his first team? The
Clippers.
And he was just tall and skinny. I remember him just Peoria, but I don't.
He's a freak, man. You didn't see. I mean, the league hadn't seen a point guard, with that kind of size since Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the top 5 pick in the draft. A year after, I believe it was 2004. The year after LeBron's draft, I think, is when Sean got drafted. And just never seen anything like that before. And his injuries still to this day probably one of the hardest ones to watch. You see the replays of all the injuries now. You even looking at Kevin Ware back in the NCAA tournament for Louisville a couple years ago. Some of the freak injuries in the NFL. For that one, man, to see both knees, just that was bad.
Yeah. And I mean, he's logging 15 minutes a game for a championship team right now. So I mean,
It's awesome.
Yeah, sky would have been the limit. So
Definitely. Fitness trends. What's some fitness trends going on right now? Any new diets out there, Dr. Sam? I know you and I, we hear a lot about it from people, patients, clients, stuff like that. Is there anything out there that you've been hearing as of lately?
I haven't heard too much as far as nutrition trends, but I know I've got quite a few patients who've lost quite a bit of weight. Mm-hmm. So I know the New Year's resolutions, if that's what it was, it's worked out so far for a couple people around town. We do Ideal Protein in our office, so kind of more of a ketogenic diet. Cutting out the carbs. I'm not sure really what else is going on in town. You probably talk diet more, training people than I do.
Definitely. I've seen a lot of the 21-day fix go away, which kind of excited about that. It's just a little corny in my opinion, you know what I mean? But other than that, there hasn't been too many fitness trends. I know the CrossFit games just got over, I believe. You don't know.
you just fly back in from them.
How'd you place?
Yeah.
They usually don't get those on. They're usually on ESPN, like ESPN2 and ESPNU and stuff. They usually show those, but they're never live. It's always a couple weeks or even
That's
a month
true.
afterwards, and then they show it because I think they're in California, right? Normally.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I can remember watching them, and they'll show them, but it's like, oh yeah, this happened, back in April. It's like June. I'm like, what the heck, man? Worldwide leader in sports. What are you doing?
Yeah. But so I haven't seen too much on Twitter for fitness trends and stuff like that. So I know with the summer coming around, there's just a lot of get shredded for the summer, stuff like that.
Bikini bod, bro.
There you go. You're working on that.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, so some education for this week. What's some good education that the listeners can put into place for this upcoming week? I mean, last night when I was watching Kobe Bryant's last game and his ceremony before, I mean, I thought it was just absolutely amazing how he went from he was going to go to the Sixers, right?
Well, he's
No,
going to go to
Hornets.
the Hornets. Got drafted by the
Hornets,
Hornets.
okay.
Draft day trade to the Lakers.
And then he just took it from there and stayed with the same team forever and won a bunch of rings and just was a badass, basically. So, like, the education that I got from that was if you believe in the people around you and you put the work in, some good things can happen.
Right.
Yeah, consistency was very big for him.
Because
Yeah.
Fortunate situation as well. I mean, he had a little bit of luck there going to the Lakers, but yes.
right. And injuries, like, he had his Achilles. I know that was more recent, but
Yeah,
when he was in his prime, did he have
His-
any injuries?
his pain threshold was unbelievable. He played through an entire season with a broken ring finger on his shooting hand, and would play bandaged up. I think it was the year after. I think it was 07-08, the year we went to the finals and lost to the Celtics. He played the most of the playoffs with a broken ring finger on his shooting hand
Right.
with a cast on there, and still putting up Kobe-esque numbers, 28 points per game. So I think as far as I mean he was definitely lucky with no serious knee injuries, anything that you see a lot of times in sports, but he definitely had some lingering ones. But you weren't going to pull that guy off the court.
No, not at all. And when I think of the injuries aspect of it, it's that mentality aspect that he had. I'm hungry, I want to win, I want my goal that I'm going to have right now. So what you can take home with that is if you have a lingering injury, whether it's for your occupation, fitness, some sort of training you're doing coming up, you can take that mindset of Kobe Bryant and say, nothing's stopping me. But you can also reach out to some individuals who can help you with that, whether that's an athletic trainer, chiropractors, things of that nature, physical therapists, and they can help you with that. And I know he did that as well. But
Yeah, I mean, you look at even last night, not only his last game, but it was Gary Vity's last game, who has been the trainer for the Lakers for 32 years. And that was the first person Kobe hugged coming back onto the court. Said, I remember they had them like mic'd up there at the beginning of the game before tip off, and Gary Vity was giving him the talcum powder that all the players wear to for their hands and everything, and Kobe was like, one last time for both of us. And so yeah, I mean, he's definitely had that support there with the trainer, like a lot of people do. I mean, it's not like these professional athletes. It's kind of brings them more down to earth. Sometimes they seem like they're superhuman at times, but they still have the trainers helping them out as well. They're not just coasting along.
right, definitely.
And to touch on that, I thought it was really cool. Last night they were talking about sometimes if you have a good enough athletic trainer, they're not just your trainer, it's someone you can go to for like your personal life and stuff like that, because they spend so much time with the trainers, because obviously sports is demanding and stuff like that. But they said this, like the Lakers trainer, he wasn't only their trainer, I mean, he was one of their good friends. So I thought that was really cool. That I just thought that was awesome.
Right, and that's definitely key for any of us, Joes, moms, dads, young athletes, stuff like that.
Absolutely. It's kind of interesting to see that with his trainer going on the Lakers after everything that's happened the past couple of weeks with a couple other guys about being family and having each other's backs. You probably know more about it as far as the two guys who got into it.
It is a pretty tumultuous couple of weeks there. I mean, it's been a pretty crazy couple of seasons as far as, performance in what is a very demanding place. LA is not an easy place to play, and with the history of the Lakers, 16 championships the past 2 years has been tough. So any little thing you do, and that just to kind of, I'm not going to touch on that very much, but that was not a very that would have been big anywhere, but let alone in LA when you got TMZ on every corner of the street.
Right.
But they've done it kind of died down pretty quickly. I thought that was something that was probably going to hurt and linger for a while. It seems like it started to die down a little bit.
I'm sure the Kobe situation helps with
and
that.
exactly, they kind of had something to mask it over, and there's a lot of veteran people that have been in LA, and that's the one thing with Byron Scott, the coach there. He was in LA for years. Kobe's been there for years. They know how to manage LA. because I mean you're a celebrity. I mean if you're in LA, no matter what you're doing, you're a celebrity, actor. You know, your whole life is, you know, a Snapchat away from the end there. So, you know, they've all that experience. You know, Kobe's had his rough experiences throughout the years with, you know, getting in trouble and stuff. And so yeah, I'm sure that definitely helped, and you know they're kind of coming together. You know, like I said, that there's a lot of good people in that organization that have been there for a long time, and I'm sure that they've helped, you know, those two get through.
I feel like I saw a video on Facebook today. They were hugging Kobe, but they were both in the same little huddle. So that was kind of nice to see that they're not.
Yeah, it was good to see. I mean, obviously, a lot of emotions last night. I mean, I don't think it was pretty funny because, yeah, when Kobe hit the shot to take the lead last night, the three young guys, you know, Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell, and Jordan Clarkson, all, you know, under the age of 22, they grew up watching Kobe. They were hugging him, jumping up and down,
Mm-hmm.
and it was good to see that. I mean, it was good to see, you know, all three of them, you know, embrace, because I mean that's the future with the past of the Lakers. So it was cool to see that, you know, hopefully they've grown past that.
Definitely, and those young guys, they were watching them when they were younger in high school, junior high, and now they're playing with them, and then it's just like I kind of followed what he did when he was younger, and now I'm watching him step off the same court I'm playing on.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the young athletes, business people, whatever it may be, I mean, just find that mentor and look up to someone who's been pretty successful with it, and you will be there. You just got to keep grinding and being consistent with it.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a professional athlete too. You know, it can be someone, if you're a high school athlete, it might be someone that's a senior. You might be a freshman or sophomore. You might look up to a senior. You know, you don't have to. It could be a parent. It could be a coach. Anything. You know,
Right.
There's so many people that can have positive influences on your life. That really, you know, you don't got to search for a professional. It can be your next door neighbor.
Right. Freshman year, I mean, Jake Thomas at Mount Throzo High School, lifting weights. That was my role model when I was growing up lifting. Then Blaine Robinson, and then eventually I know from just people telling me, like younger freshmen, sophomores when I was a senior, just saying things to me that I was saying to Jake Thomas and Blaine Robinson when I was in their shoes. So it's kind of cool to see those. Well, it's kind of cool to see how it trickles down as the years go on.
Yeah, and I would say it's also, you know, important when you're in that kind of a spot where, you know, you're an older person or someone people look up to, you know, kind of embrace that role, because not only are you a role model to them, but you know, you can better yourself as a person, you know, for being that role model.
Definitely. Good stuff. What are you drinking over there, Temple?
I am drinking Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, my personal favorite. So thank you for having it in your fridge for me.
What?
Thanks for buying, man.
Yeah. Where's your Keystone Bud Light? Summer Shandy's your favorite. What about?
Yeah, definitely.
What was
I
that?
drink girl drinks.
That Coors Light. The Coors Light Shandy or whatever they had.
Ooh, yeah,
Soda
that
coolers?
was, yeah. Those were good. A lot of, like the lemon lime, it was sweet. You can only have like 3 or 4 of them, but these, it's like, you just get a little lemon instead of a lot. So you can drink these, you know, 15, 16 of them, no problem.
Yeah. Are we gonna see that tonight or tomorrow night?
No, tomorrow night.
What they have at your event prior to this?
Yeah, some Bud Light, you know, the classics. As far as beer goes, there's a Spaten Optimator, which comes out of Germany, I think Frankfurt, and it's by far the best beer in the
Yeah.
world. I loved it. My boss out in Idaho got me hooked on it. He would literally like buy me cases at a time because they got it shipped in or whatever. So he'd like show up to work one day with a 30-pack of this glass bottle stuff and like take it home. It was pretty fun. So that's probably my beer of choice. Nothing tonight.
Yeah, I'm so used to the Bud Lights, Coors Lights, Keystones and stuff from college, but now I don't know if it's because I have more money to spend or what, but I'm able to get Goose Island 312, Goose Island Green Line. I'm just like, man, these are good.
Don't forget where you came from, though.
Yeah,
Keystone Light
exactly.
all the way.
I still haven't moved away. I can't. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm a big import guy. Like, you know, Coronas, your Dos Equis, your your Modelo's, the Mexican beers. I'm a big fan of, but you really, I mean, what else are you gonna call? Right? It might not be politically correct, but I'm half Mexican. That works, right?
Oh yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah.
Go alignment, and I'll drink
Yeah,
all day.
exactly. But yeah, no, I usually stick closer to the typical, your Bud Lights, your Keystone. I'm pretty particular to Keystone just because that's what we've been drinking for. Are you just trying to drink that beer with the lid on it?
I grabbed the wrong one.
He said 3 drinks of a 312 and just tried to take a drink of a bottle with
He's
his
drunk.
cap on.
Oh, yeah.
My
Easy,
God.
Patrick.
Yeah, I'm pretty particular to my Keystone though.
Might as well just chew on the can.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
What it tastes like.
I mean, I started drinking Keystone when I was like 18.
What?
14? Yeah, there we go.
Hey, come on.
But I mean, we'll jump back to some stuff like that here in a second. We've already talked a lot about Kobe, how he's inspired not only us but many other people, and how he can, and how the people around him can inspire others by looking up to him. But I mean, just go around quickly. Who's one person this week that has inspired you, other than, let's say, Kobe, and that the other listeners can look up to?
I don't know about other listeners, but you spoke last week about how your dad was a big impact on you, and I got to thinking, starting out in the chiropractic business, it's kind of like find your own patience type of thing, so you're really working hard. Look back to my dad. Mm-hmm. He worked hard his entire life, more of a laborer. He's an electrician, but he works his butt off, and he didn't want me going into the trades because it's so hard on your body. Mm-hmm. So I got to thinking about that this week quite a bit, actually, when I was listening to the program once we got it up on iTunes. And I was just like, it's different. It's a different kind of work, but it's still like the same mentality. And I know my dad really strove to do what's best for us. So I kind of found some motivation in that.
I agree with that.
Just to go off of that, it was my parents' anniversary this week, so that was inspiring to me. Just nowadays it seems like it's more rare to have a lengthy marriage, so I'm proud of them and hope I can have the same thing someday. So that really was something that inspired me this week. So congratulations to them.
Definitely correct. Congrats.
How many years?
Well, I am 23. They 21.
21.
Yeah,
Awesome.
last year was their 20th, so
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about anyone. Obviously, my big one was obviously Kobe, but I guess like some people I'd pull motivation from sometimes, or some people that I've looked up to is I've started recently to really appreciate my coworkers at work. Just at in the business, kind of just looking at what they do, and whether you can be of assistance to them and be a resource to them. In my situation, I mean, I haven't even been with the company. I work for Progressive. I haven't even been with them for a year now. One of the more tenured reps in the office, though. And I kind of cherish the way to be a role model and be like a resource to them. And starting to see it come full circle now to where they might not be there as long as I am, but I'm at the point now where I can reach out to them and ask them, hey, what do you think about this, because I can trust them and stuff, and I've had some real good input. Put your phone on silence, this is church. I think your coworkers, people you're with every day, you can pull motivation from and just look and see what they're doing and say, you know what, that's awesome. I want to let me emulate that. Maybe you're having a down day. One of your coworkers having a good day. Emulate that or feed off that energy, positive energy.
Definitely, I agree with definitely all three of you: parents, coworkers, coworkers and parents is two of my motives for each day. But also another one, Blaine Robinson. Alex and Eric know him. Dr. Sam, you know of him now. The gentleman who we're going to be raising money for the Squats for Soldiers event. He came in on Tuesday, and man, that kid is just getting after it. From a motorcycle accident almost 3 years ago now. Now he's doing 45 pounds on leg extensions, curling 10 to 15 pound dumbbells, and from seeing that guy from high school and our early years of college just down in my face screaming at me, and now it's just like very motivating to see him still pushing, even though he can't really do everything himself. So that's something that kind of takes the breath away and really motivates me. And at the end of the workouts with him on every Tuesday, it's just like that was something else.
Yeah.
It's good to have. It's very humbling.
Tell me a little more about this Squash for Soldiers.
So the Squash for Soldiers, Doug Pinner, the owner of Anytime Fitness, he asked me if I wanted to start a charity event, and I was like, "Yeah, definitely, let's do it." I didn't know what I wanted to do at first. When I was thinking about it, the first thing that popped in my head was like a 5K, but then I was just like, we have the Haunted Hustle for Anytime Fitness. I don't really want to do another one, so I came up with the Squash for Soldiers, and that kind of started because of squatting every day from Corey Gregory, and it just kind of. I don't know if you want to call it addiction or a lifestyle.
You might.
Oh yeah, it's an addiction.
But it that inspired me, and I kind of mimicked a high school powerlifting fundraising type program to raise money, gain sponsors, have, let's say, Dr. Sam come in, do a squat of 225 for 10 reps. You went out and got pledges per rep for that, and heck, you can raise as much money as people want, really. So that's taking place June 4th at Anytime Fitness, Peoria.
I think it's an
How's this
awesome
start?
idea.
8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Alright.
We'll be having Alex and Eric spotting,
Yeah.
unracking.
And I think
You're
you got a pretty cool commitment too the other day from some people that are gonna come join.
Mm-hmm. The Monmouth Roseville High School football team, the Titans, they're going to get, I'm not going to say a specific number just because I don't know how many, and they don't yet, but they're going to be coming over from Monmouth and having a group of athletes and even coaches do this as well. So
Well, if I know Coach Adelson, it better be that whole entire team.
Yeah,
Athletes
it's-
you're lifting.
I just one of the strength and conditioning coach over there, Grant, he sent me a video yesterday on Facebook, and he did, I think, 515 for his max on back squat.
Who?
Grant,
Gulfstream?
Oh my.
515.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and he's dropped like 30 odd pounds,
Oh,
more
easy.
than that, more than that. I
Yeah,
think.
for sure.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do the powerlifting meet come June as well, so it's gonna be a fun month, that's for sure.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You got quite a few businesses. I know we got a few from our networking group that are going to be in that.
Definitely, Budget Builders, owner Terry Raymer. I've decided Kim Martin, Country Financial, Josh Reckenall, Anytime Fitness Peoria, PT by PT, Barbells and Bar Stools. Now I'm drawing some blanks here. I got
Munoz
handfuls.
Technologies.
Eric Munoz Technologies. I know I got about 9 to 10 sponsors doing this. Secure Dental is another general sponsor, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
There's still time too. If,
Yeah, what do you-
if people listening want to sponsor us, so we still got plenty of time. I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm sure you're not going to decline anyone.
No, not at all.
So how do you do that?
So if you want to become a sponsor for this, whether it's $100, $200, whatever it may be, $100 minimum will get you on the back of the shirt. That we're gonna need really soon because we're gonna be printing them in about 10 days, 14 days. So
Could probably use some more volunteers for spotting, putting weights on and stuff.
definitely. I know we got some people from the Front Nine Foundation, which they're the ones hosting the event at Anytime Fitness Peoria, and it'll just be a awesome time.
Is that going to be in the building or out front?
Inside, it'd be dope to be out front, but it's inside.
So how many people are you expecting to be there?
50 to 60 squatters, which that's going to be about 10 per hour, which
You
is
have
pretty
Good
good.
number.
Do you have a goal yet for amount of money raised?
I do not have a goal yet. I said a couple months ago I was thinking 10 grand. We'll see. So
If you get that many squatters, I think that's definitely
Absolutely.
reasonable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great cause. I mean, you're gonna have people out there, even
Right.
people that aren't squatting. I think can stop by and definitely get around all the people that'll benefit from it.
oh yeah, and if there's an open spot, like someone who's been watching all day might just be like, all right, I'm pledging $5 per rep I do at 135 at the open spot at 1 p.m. something like that, and the money's going to go to Tee It Up for the Troops, Children's Hospital of Illinois, and the Blaine Robinson family. So you got the kids and the troops all in one, and that's something that means a lot to a lot of people.
Can't really get a better cause.
Definitely.
Got a lot of good things there.
So, talk about who has inspired us now. Let's switch gears a little bit. What's a fun fact that you know of someone listening or one of us on this table that not very many people know? I know a lot of the people that listen to us right now are our friends and family and people from back home, but I know they're probably sitting there thinking like, "Oh boy, what's this going to lead to?"
What rated is this podcast?
I have a book of stuff about both of you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not Dr. Sam here, but I'm sure that'll
It can
come.
stay in the
but,
book.
But yeah,
Let's keep it there.
some stuff that I don't know that people are gonna want to hear. So let's you start it off.
Yeah,
Set
you
the tone.
get the ball rolling here because I'm not sure.
One fun fact. I'll start with myself now. It's not that big of a fun fact. It kind of is, but I went to PCB one year. Eric was there. We never got this on video, and I did a beer bong with 5 beers in it.
Yeah.
It's on video, but I don't know where it's at. No one's been able to track this
I think
down.
Google might have it. So Google, if you're listening, please send it this way.
I don't think Google.
That's a
has
good
it.
one. I
Yeah.
can't say the same. I don't think not many people can say that they've done that. So
I mean, just from witnessing that, we're not condoning binge drinking by any means.
No, it was just an experience.
You definitely want to have an experience. PCB, I got to experience twice, luckily for me. That was pretty cool. I mean, there was like 30 or 40 people on the beach just crowding around you while you did that. So that was a pretty cool moment. But
didn't you outdo one of the Division I college football
yeah, there was
teams?
some
Football players
some
couldn't do
Northern
it.
Illinois football players.
They did like
just
3 or 4 or
out of-
something. Yeah, they had a big NIU flag, and I don't know why we stopped by them because probably from Illinois or whatever. And
I think
well, we were like, "Hey, where are you guys from?" Or from NIU, obviously, but we went up to them. We're like, "Hey, we're from Monmouth College. Have you ever heard of it?" And they're like, "Yeah, we know some people there." Blah blah blah. And they had a big beer bong. It was like the top was like the size of this computer.
It was like one of those big oil funnels that they use at like a car shop. A big orange funnel.
And the thing is, at the top of it, it was
It
open
had the
and
valve.
close, and it didn't come down until they opened it. So
It looked like someone flushed the toilet and it just went.
So,
It didn't spill though.
just a fun fact for you. You don't have to go out and do it.
No, please don't. Please don't go out and do that.
So I'll do the opposite story. In
Alright.
high school, I wasn't a partier at all. I went to parties, but I behaved myself. So there's this big party. I think it was my junior year, maybe senior year. Everybody gets drunk, drives home. Terrible thing. I didn't drink at all. I got in the accident on the way home.
Oh my
wow.
But
Wow.
so
Well, at least it was you.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Not
Exactly.
saying like that's a good thing.
I had a big Ford Bronco, so I hit a tree and
Oh,
pretty much did nothing
boy.
to the car.
So you're probably still driving that car today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
that
we
thing's still
pulled it
going.
out of the ditch the next morning and kept going. So it was a good car to have. So that's probably my number 1 favorite car. Actually, is my Ford Bronco.
They're remaking the Ford Bronco.
They
I saw
are.
something recently.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty neat looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when they stopped production on those. It's been a long time. But I did see the other day, it might have been on Facebook or something, that they're re-releasing the Bronco, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the concept of it's pretty nice.
Mhm.
What about you? Good story?
Oh man, there's a lot.
First one that pops in your brain.
Eric, if you have one, go ahead and jump in. I don't really have many drinking feats. Not necessarily lightweight, but
Probably shouldn't
I can't
talk
drink
about
as much
some
fat.
of them.
I guess
All right, how about this?
I got this. I got one for both of
Alright.
us. I got one for both of us. So, probably one of the funnest times I had in college was me and Alex's senior year at Monmouth College. Before basketball team was really good that year, and we were in a battle for the top of the conference. I believe at this point we were sitting in second place in the conference, and we were playing St. Norbert College, who from up in Minnesota. Is it Minnesota? St. Norbert?
Wisconsin.
Whatever. They were coming down, always a powerhouse. They were undefeated, and if we would have won, we would have took the tiebreaker for first place in the conference, and everyone was real pumped up. Monmouth not a real great basketball tradition, but it started to turn around recently, and finally got a good team that we could get behind. And Alex and I did some research and made some flyers with some interesting facts. Let's say
scouting
about all the players on the St. Norbert time.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, we printed off like 100 of them or something like that.
Yeah,
It was fun.
It was pretty fun. That was definitely probably one of the. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't end up winning that game. If we would have won that game, that place would have got turned upside down.
Yeah, I mean,
It needed that anymore. But awesome. Those are definitely good stories for sure.
I'll save mine for next time.
Let's hear it, Cowboy.
I mean, I can't think of one. I'm not good at thinking of it on the
I know
spot.
one for you real quick. For Alex, my junior year, your sophomore year, Scotts Day, three-man case race.
Oh, yeah. 2-time case race champ right here.
Yep. That kid over there, $140 maybe, soaking wet. Then you have myself, back in the day, Tank Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
And then another buddy of ours, Austin, had 50 pounds on it, Alex. And this kid just had a cup the whole time, just kept pouring it full to the brim, and we counted, he had about 14 of the 30 beers that the three of us were supposed to drink. So he definitely carried the load.
I think we set the national record for case race done with 3 people, actually. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's
It was
official, but that's just what
Under
I heard.
15 minutes.
I feel like my college experience was lame now.
So, if you're listening out there, those are just experiences. We're not condoning that by any means. It's just
Absolutely
But if you need to win, you need to win.
not. You're a
Okay?
competitive person.
I didn't want to do it, but I did it.
and with that, it's experiences, and now we did our work that we needed to do to get to where we are today. So,
Yep.
don't take advantage of that and screw up, pretty much.
Right.
Enjoy college, but
Be safe.
be safe.
Be safe. Pass your classes.
Don't drink and drive because that'll ruin your life.
Absolutely
Yep.
not. You know what? The one thing, this is actually pretty interesting. So I started off going to St. Ambrose University in the cities, and freshmen had to pay to bring their cars on campus. And I ended up paying to bring my car on campus. I was 60 miles from home. I was a little pussy, so I always drove back home to see my mom. But I don't think that's necessarily such a bad idea, especially at a small campus. Leave your car at home. I really
have
really
one all
don't
4
think.
years.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't. You know how many times? I mean, especially when you're at a big university. Obviously, leave it in the parking garage, man. I mean, you're not gonna be driving to class. You're gonna be walking to class. If you do drive, you're gonna be late to class. And you're gonna leave early. Like, leave it in the parking garage. I mean, it's such a dumb thing, and we've had friends that have been affected by it. Probably work colleagues and family members and stuff. It's such a dumb and stupid act. I know we're kind of switching gears completely here, but it's
Needs to
something.
be said.
Yeah, and it really does. We talk about the the enjoyments in college and stuff, but there's not a great point to this. So, yeah.
Do we have some questions?
Yeah, kind of related to that, we threw out some questions on Twitter here, and we got a few questions from our friends. Clayton Larson at Barbells and Barstools. What's your 1-rep max preacher curl? I think this is
This is for you.
This is a you
for
question.
me. All right. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna go with.
Is that a thing? Like, people know that? Like, I feel like you
people
should know
track
your
you?
1-rep
Well, I
preacher
mean,
curl max.
You guys don't?
No. I can tell you, I count on one hand how many times I've done preacher curls.
I made Alex do him a couple times. He thought his arms were gonna fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were holding the bar down and trying to lift it up.
Hey, it's summertime. You gotta get some.
You gotta get the
bulk
gun
on
show
you.
going.
I'd say probably 25 pounds for myself.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like 205 or something like that.
Seriously?
Do
No,
it.
I'm just
I'll-
kidding.
we have the iPad
Yeah, I was
recording. I
gonna
want to
say,
see
that's
this.
crazy.
225 on
Truthfully, it's probably
episode 7 special.
95 or no. 115, I bet.
Can you scroll back up? I saw an interesting question up there.
I did, yeah, from our good friend Taylor.
Oh, that was an awesome
So hold
question.
on. Let me preface this. I grew up in Mackinac. My ACT scores for English and reading extremely low.
Yeah,
So this is a good question for us.
I read it a couple times. I was like, "What's she talking about?" Taylor at Barbell Barstool. Why is the plural of beer beers, but the plural of deer is just deer?
It's a good question.
Taylor, you're the teacher.
That was too good of a question to throw at us at this point. We're not.
That is not right.
No.
That's interesting though, because
It
I guess
is.
I've never really thought about that.
Yeah,
So what-
definitely.
what
I
is
say
Taylor
beers
saying?
every
Do you
time.
think it's because beer is not a living thing?
We
Does that
need-
even make sense? Or in deer are
No.
no?
You know,
so.
what's
We're just
gonna
breaking the
happen?
word down.
You know what? On one of these future episodes, we are gonna call an English teacher. I know one. We're gonna call Brett Bain.
I honestly don't think
He's
there's an
gonna
answer
answer
for
that
this
question.
question. No, seriously, I
I
seriously
don't
don't.
think there is either, because you think about it, you say I drank a lot of beer. That's plural. But if you see two beers sitting there, you're gonna say, hey, there's beer. I mean, you could say there's beer, but you want to be more specific. It's like,
Yeah,
I guess
no,
it goes
I-
by it. I don't know. That's weird.
I think it's just something that happened, and that's just one of those things, you know?
Don't question it.
Nope.
Taylor stumped us.
Yeah. She stumped us.
Whoever decided to do it that way was probably drunk.
She's probably used that before to stump
She's
people.
probably-
That's probably. Probably.
But two good questions with that. And what are you doing looking that up, Sam?
I'm trying to ask the English teacher. What is correct? Case of beer or case of beers? Case of Coke or case of Cokes? I know that is in a carton of cigarettes. Blah, 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 blah.
I would say case of beer. But
Yeah.
like when I'm talking about individuals, beers.
This doesn't
Yeah.
say what it is.
It's weird.
I just don't think so. I don't think.
So,
it's gonna
funny
happen.
story about deers then. So, DMAC Middle School is like the DMAC Deer something. So, we did an AYBT. It's like American Youth Basketball Tour in the summer or whatever. We call ourselves the Deers. So, that was kind of
Oh, that's
interesting.
awkward.
Yeah, so the school named themselves the Deers. That was pretty interesting. Like I said, I grew up
Huh.
in that town. So,
Interesting.
those are my English skills.
So where are we at on
We're talking about motivation time.
motivation time?
Drop some stuff knowledge on motivation.
Some dope ass knowledge, you mean?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Dope ass knowledge.
He literally wrote that.
I did.
On a,
You know, in his head, he was like, "All right, now we're gonna drop some dope ass knowledge."
With the finger thing too.
Yeah, he
you know he did.
Back nose.
Absolutely.
It's probably in my ears.
Snapchatting on the way home.
Yeah.
Don't text and drive.
So motivation to start your week, to end your week. Whenever you listen to this episode, we talk about Kobe, inspiration, mentors. But what's some other motivation that we can bring to the table for the listeners?
Well, I know for me, it's always been my whole life a struggle to actually just get in the gym. Okay, just like get myself to go in there. You know, I was an athlete and whatever, and I still couldn't get myself in the weight room. And just recently, I've finally been consistent. I've been lifting for 3-4 months now, and it's just literally. It sounds easy, but it's just getting in there for like a week or two straight, and then you won't even think twice about it. But it is literally just getting in there. It's that easy.
Definitely.
Honestly, it is. And I know me and you at the bar a couple weeks ago, we were talking to one of our buddies about, trying to get him to work out. And, he was acting like he was listening, but I didn't know if he really was. Well, he just started working out this week, and he said he likes it. So, I mean, if you can just convince people to get in,
Right.
then,
Definitely.
you can see results. So,
I asked one of my clients earlier this week, 'cause he's lost like 30 pounds at least since last June or July, one of the two. And I was like, so what do you think you can contribute to your success for getting stronger, losing weight, feeling better and stuff like that? He said that it was just being consistent with it. He just started working out once a week, 2 times a week, 3 times, and now he's going in. He's doing something every day because he's starting to see the results. He's starting to feel stronger, and his clothes are just. He has to buy new clothes like every month. He says.
and at that point, you're going to be hooked. I mean, if you can just get a little bit of results, it's just going to.
Right, and I know for someone like that, he motivates the crap out of me just because. I see him working his ass off, and it's awesome. So. Anything else, boys?
do some reading. You can really get motivated by reading stuff. Not Facebook. Don't scroll through Facebook. You're gonna see 600 memes of motivation. That's cool and everything, but sit down and read a news article. Read a book.
Listen to this podcast.
Podcasts are great.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a few I listen to. None that are necessarily motivation, but some that make you think. Once you get into it. I don't know. Well, all right, I'm sure everyone here listens to other podcasts.
Oh
right?
yeah.
All right, let's go. A podcast you've been listening to.
So, Barbell Shrugged. That's a great podcast from 4 dudes who own CrossFit gyms. They're freaking hilarious. Basically, we're kind of similar to what they're doing, but different lifestyles. I think different occupations, and Barbell Shrugged is just very motivating and funny, and I mean that was my motivation to do stuff like this, was from them. Tim Ferriss also has a good podcast. Joe Rogan.
I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. His podcasts are so long though. They're like 3 hours long, and I'm like, man, Joe.
Ooh,
like
that's
I love listening to Joe, but I usually just end up going to listen to the highlights like on YouTube from each week's podcast. But he's a weird dude, and like you would think like he just talks about stuff that'll hit everyone and just like make you laugh or make you think you're like, what?
Yeah.
What in the world? But you gotta be in the right mindset to listen to Joe. You can't just hop into Joe and think you're gonna be listening to, someone reading from the Bible or something. It's about the opposite of what Joe said.
I know one podcast I heard of his, or someone was telling me about, was something about, I don't know, aliens or something weird, and I don't know what was going on in it.
Dude, they talk about everything. I mean, from drugs to aliens to, obviously Joe Rogan commentates UFC, so, they talk a lot about MMA. They'll hit just about on any topic. And they're pretty open with their viewers or their listeners too, which I think is really big in podcast stuff. One of my favorite podcasts, Bill Simmons, this kind of goes back to last week talking about my journalism stuff. Bill Simmons is a big NBA writer, all sports writer. He runs The Ringer, which is a brand new kind of string of podcasts. The BS Report is great, pretty new one called Shack House, which is by Jeff Shackelford, who does the morning drives on the Golf Channel. They have a really interesting golf podcast that just started a couple weeks ago that I've been listening to on my lunches. But yeah, podcasts are great. They're entertaining and they make your time fly. I mean, listen to this. I mean, we've been sitting here for 45 minutes. It doesn't even seem like, even just us, recording one.
Right.
It really does make time fly.
Definitely. Corey Gregory, Activate Media. He has a good one. I haven't listened to too many of those, but that's definitely a good one as well. That's one of my motivators for what I do. Look them up.
Cool.
But with that,
Let's wrap it up.
wrap it up.
Till
That's
next
good.
time.
The check us out on iTunes podcasts, Barbells and Barstools, on Twitter at Barbell Barstool. And on Instagram, same as that. Is our handle the same as Twitter?
Barbell bar stools.
Okay,
So not a plural on the barbell.
gotcha.
SoundCloud. Shout out to SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yep. Shout out to Easy E over here getting us on iTunes again.
Munoz Technologies.
That's just awesome.
Incorporated.
Oh,
But
all right.
but we're out. Have a safe, wonderful rest of your week and weekend, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Mamba out.